Sergei Magnitsky, a Russian lawyer investigating state corruption, died in a Moscow jail in 2009. His body showed signs of torture. No one has been convicted because of his death. In the decades since, his client, Bill Browder, has fought for governments around the world to enact sanctions against those involved in Magnitsky's demise. The campaign marked a milestone Monday as Britain announced its first targeted sanctions.
Those with blood on their hands, the thugs of despots, the henchmen of dictators, will not be free to waltz into this country to buy up property on the King's Road, to do their Christmas shopping in Knightsbridge, or frankly to siphon dirty money through British banks or other financial institutions.
25 Russian officials allegedly involved in Magnitsky's death face asset freezes and travel bans, including directors of Russia's investigative committee, which reports directly to President Vladimir Putin, members of the General Prosecutor's Office, as well as judges. Russia has asked Interpol to arrest Bill Browder 7 times on charges of tax evasion. Browder says the charges are baseless and evidence of his campaign's success.
Putin values money more than human life, and we've created a mechanism to take his money away from him, and that's just unforgivable as far as he's concerned.
Britain also enacted sanctions Monday against 20 Saudi Arabian nationals accused of the gruesome murder of the American journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who wrote for the Washington Post. Further measures target officials in Myanmar and North Korea. Some British lawmakers are calling for Hong Kong's chief executive, Carrie Lam, to be added to the sanctions list, following China's imposition of a new security law, which critics say infringes upon basic human rights, including freedom of speech.
China is probably the prime example of a human rights abuser that should have people sanctioned. They should be stung for what they've done to the Uyghur population, for what they're doing in Hong Kong.
The United States and Canada already have Magnitsky-style legislation in place. The European Union is working on its own.
If the EU is not involved, then these people will buy villas in the south of France, they'll keep their money in German banks, and they'll send their kids to Swiss boarding schools. And so we need to get Europe on board.
Britain says it is determined to forge a new role as a global beacon for human rights. Analysts say the measures will test Britain's clout outside the EU. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.